Hello students, and welcome to week 5 of Social Science 101. This is, of course, your last week of the course, and in this week you're going to be examining the application of social science, broadly construed. As has been noted throughout the course, the social sciences underline many different professions and disciplines within modern society, and this week you will be examining this in detail. Your workload this week will consist of your discussion, your reflective discussion, a quiz over the readings for weeks 4 and 5, and of course, your final paper. As a reminder, your final will consist of an examination of a social issue that rises to the level of a social problem through the examination of 2 different social science disciplines. You have, of course, been working on your final throughout the course, from your week 1 discussion to your research checkpoints in weeks 2 and 4, and of course your prep assignment in week 3. By this point in time, you should have completed your research for your final, as well as conceptualized the major components of your final. Prior to starting this assignment, please make sure to review the final paper components and the final paper organization section on the final paper page. These discuss the required components for your paper, as well as how to organize your paper around these components. To summarize, your paper should be at least 5 pages in length and include 4 scholarly sources, 2 from each discipline. Your paper should start with an introduction with a distinct thesis statement that serves as the main idea of your paper, and conclude with a conclusion that summarizes the main points made in your paper and restates your thesis. Within your paper, you should include a brief discussion of your social issue and how it rises to the level of social concern. A brief discussion of each of the social science disciplines you have selected to gain insight on this social issue. Make sure to reflect upon the goals of these disciplines as is discussed in Part 2 of your textbook. Using the sources you selected in week 3, analyze how your selected social science disciplines have examined your selected social issue. In this examination, identify if the authors used qualitative or quantitative methodologies and why they selected those methods. Discuss one similarity and at least 2 differences in the approaches or conclusions of these studies and relate these to the disciplines involved. Explain, based upon your research, how using research from 2 social science disciplines can lead to a more complete understanding of social issues than only using research from a single discipline. In other words, how do the approaches and conclusions of your sources contribute to an interdisciplinary understanding of the topic? How is this a more complete understanding than a set of conclusions from sources in only one discipline? Finally, explain how this interdisciplinary understanding might be applied within a social setting in order to attempt to address this social issue. Of these required components, the only one you have not worked on yet is the final component. As such, you will have received feedback on the other components throughout the course by your instructor. Please make sure to review all paper and research checkpoint feedback prior to completing your final paper. Remember, writing is a process. It is recommended that you schedule time to proofread and revise your paper. A good rule of thumb will be to finish writing the paper on either Saturday or Sunday, giving you at least Monday to review your paper carefully and make any changes or clarifications that you need to make. It is recommended that you proofread for grammar, spelling, sentence structure, and overall flow of your paper. If you have a chance, consider using the paper review service through the UAGC Writing Center. This process can take up to 48 hours, so it definitely requires planning ahead to use, but can be incredibly useful. In addition, you may want to use Grammarly when writing your papers. All students at UAGC have access to Grammarly through the Writing Center and Library link on the left-hand side of the course classroom. With that, I'd like to thank you for taking Social Science 101 and wish you the best of luck in your research and your writing.